want to share a little bit of a personal story. I talk a lot about my time in the SEAL teams and the combat units and big adventures and principles I've learned from that. I've learned obviously equal lessons. You've heard me talk a lot about things I've learned from my brother, my father, my mother, my bride, and my bride has truly been one of my greatest teachers. We have two kiddos. One of my kiddos is in the high school years and is playing volleyball. So she plays for a high school team. She plays for a club team as well. She loves it and enjoys it. My background in sport is biblical in intensity. I don't mean that in how good I did. It was absolutely everything I was as a young person and kind of up through college. And to be honest, transitioning from Division I sports and getting to play for national championships and win awards and all the things that go along with that at an elite level, I then transitioned to the SEAL teams, which is like the ultimate level of super hazardous high-end sport, right? So that has been an anchor point and a very core part of who I am my whole life. You cannot guarantee your kid is going to have the same level of intensity, talent, drive for the sport, and even the same relationship with sport. I never played a game where I frankly didn't want to win. It probably borders on the unhealthy. I mean, my bride actually knows I'm not a big game player, actually, like board games, card games, things like that. I don't enjoy them. If it can't hurt or draw blood, it's usually a sport I don't want to participate in. And there's probably some work I need to do there, but I like high stakes. But if I compete to win. And look, I'm also a gentleman and a competitor and an athlete that plays that game with honor. If you beat me, I'll tip my hat to you every time. I will shake your hand after a game. If you've given your best, I've given my best, and you come out on top. I won't enjoy it, but you won't know that in so much that I'll be honorable about it. And I want to see that in my kids, obviously. But you watch your kids play sports, and parents have become lunatics about sports. I mean, 7 different coaches, travel teams, expensive gear. This kid's obviously going to be an Olympian. And look, Olympians is from the actual gods. That's how few people make it to the Olympics. And an equally small number of people make it even to elite sports in the country. So most kids are going to play sports. If they even make their high school team, they've actually achieved something great. You go beyond that, unbelievable, really. I was watching my daughter play kind of in her second season, and I was not so much, I had no problem with her effort. She's a good athlete. She's a good competitor, and she's got all the right stuff going with it. She's hard on herself in the ways that she should be, sometimes too harsh, but we all kind of have that become high performers. But she really was on a team that I thought, the coaching, I wish the coaching was a little bit better. I wish the team was giving more effort. I wish different things were happening. And you'd watch the games, or I'd find myself watching the games with a tremendous amount of like emotional intensity. And a lot of it was bridging towards frustration or anger. And my bride was feeling the same thing. Tracy was like, man, I'm feeling it too. And we'd get charged up. We weren't yelling or the lunatic that ruins a game, but we're kind of just in it. And I remember somewhere through her second season, we were watching our daughter. She wasn't playing in the game. We believe she should have been a starter. I think I'm a pretty good assessor of that. So I believe I'm right and based on who was on the court. She wasn't. She was frustrated. But she got on and she played, had a couple great plays. She had this big smile on her face. After the game, she was happy. And I remember Tracy and I are laying in bed, kind of closing out the day, talking through those things that we need to talk about the day coming and what happened. And we got on the subject of our daughter. And she had really identified something. I think she was frustrated with herself. I think she knew I was feeling the same, but she said, I feel like we're trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist, which is we want this to be going differently for our daughter. But if we look at our daughter, she's enjoying it. She is happy. She's smiling. She likes being on that team. On a game day, she's elevated and gets to put on a nice dress to kind of be prepared for that day. She is having a good time. We're not having a good time. So we're fixing us, not anything going on with her. Why don't we take a wrap off and just enjoy this thing? Every game since has been a delight. She's unlikely to go on and be an All-American or Olympian in this sport, and I don't think that's in any way her desire. She's enjoying it. Don't fix things or work hard on something that ain't broke. Ever onward.